Alright guys, thanks for coming back to my microgreens mini-series. So, we just put weights on our flats, now it's time to label them. So we've planted our flats. We've got 3 flats that we're going to experiment with to see what works best for us, what measurements. So we've got the first flat here, number 1, planted 213 black oil sunflower seeds, 80 grams. The second flat is going to be number 2, black oiled sunflower seeds, 85 grams, planted on 213. Third one, same thing. The only difference is we did 90 grams. We've got our weights on here, and I know I told you guys to only keep the weights on for 3 days and then put the cover on, but I wanted to show you what happens if you go a little longer. These plants are so strong, they want to survive. They are going to push and push and push until this thing pops off, and it's happened to me numerous times. I've had a lot of things break because of it, so that's why it's so important to keep an eye on your time, that you're only going 3 days until you take the weights off. Let me show you. Look how much space we have right there. That's ridiculous amount of space. Plants, they're just so amazing. So I wanted to show you guys this. This isn't ideal because obviously these are green, so they're going to be a little bit more bitter. However, I thought it was important that I show you guys what happens when you leave it too long. Say we didn't leave these that long. We're going to take our weights off. You can see how yellow that is. They're just reaching for the sun, and they're not going to green up until they hit UV light. So we're going to take our cover. It's going to be a little bit more difficult since we did leave this, but it is possible. We're going to just tuck these back in here. And it's okay if you have some sticking out. So you got a couple on the side there, a couple here, a couple there. You always want to test periodically anyway to see how they taste. That's good. Even the green one's not that bitter yet. So you usually want flat without holes for the cover. It's fine if you don't. A lot of times people can only buy flats in bulk if they're getting with or without holes. It's not necessarily economical for you beginners to get both. So if you want to just get the ones with the holes, that's fine. Don't worry about the sunlight too much. Alright, so we are going to leave this cover on for another 3 days and let those just reach up. They're going to be reaching for the sun. You don't need to use any fertilizer or anything like that. It's just like an egg. The seeds and the plants themselves, they have sort of a yolk. They have enough food to survive in there. They don't need any sort of fertilizer. I wouldn't fertilize any microgreen ever. So we'll leave that for 3 days. We'll come back and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so it's been 3 days. I'm going to take the top off here. You can notice that this is very yellow up top here, and the ones that were starting to get sunlight are more of a green color. So we're just going to let this get some sunlight, and then we'll come back in and we'll harvest them. Might be a little confusion on, lights to use for your microgreens and things like that. I don't use any lights. You don't need to buy lights for greens like this. It's just not necessary. What does help it is if you have a window, you can kind of set it next to that window. The thing is you don't want it to get too cold next to the window. So if you can get it to an area where the sunlight's coming in a little bit, it doesn't need to be direct sunlight. It doesn't need to be on there for very long, just a few days, if not 1 day. There's times where I'll have it timed to where I'm taking it off and it's going to sit in the sun and green up during the farmer's market. Because in my opinion, they taste less bitter when they're yellow and not fully green, fully developed like that. If you have some that are sagging or some that are on the sides that are looking kind of sad, drooping or anything like that, all it is a lack of water. Don't get rid of those because they're still good. So go ahead and water your flat. As soon as it's watered and it's soaked up the water, they'll spruce right back up, ready for harvest or ready for sale. So you can use your sink again, you can use a watering can, put it in the sunlight, and you're ready to go for the next step. As soon as they're ready to harvest, you can harvest them yourselves, or like I do, I sell them in the flats directly. So I'll show you guys how to harvest those. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Keep tuned for the next set in the series of the microgreens. Hit me with that YouTube mumbo jumbo. Rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next time.